Hello, my name is Wenda O'Neill, and welcome to Prompt Engineering 101, Mastering Chat AI for Business Impact. Let's jump right in with clarity, context, conditions, the three most important aspects of prompt engineering for maximum business impact. Why? Because even though a chat-style AI may seem like a human conversation, it's a conversational interface, and it remains a computer system, which means it can be very literal. It utilizes deep learning to process your questions and generate the most appropriate responses. So it's important to be clear, use context, and set conditions, especially for output that you pose in the business setting. Clarity. Be specific and avoid vague or ambiguous prompts. Using punctuation really does matter. For instance, a question mark tells the AI that you're asking a question. Putting something in quotes tells the AI to pay attention to what's in quotes. So poor punctuation can create confusion. Also, sentence length and complexity is important because shorter, simpler sentences are generally easier for the AI to process. So you want to avoid overly complex phrasing. That doesn't mean to avoid overly complex ideas, but to really pay attention to how you are phrasing them in the prompt with the AI. Here's an example of what I mean by clarity. Ambiguous. What can I do to improve customer service? That's a very vague and very big, very broad, very general prompt. But a more clear prompt would be, list 5 ways to improve customer response time on our website. Context. Context is where you provide your AI with the background for more relevant outputs. For instance, you want to establish a perspective. You want to ask it to either act as a service manager or a marketing coordinator, or as a small business owner. And that gives the AI a role to step into. It helps it understand the output that's expected based on the role. Also, providing background is a great idea. Give it a bit of information about your business, your industry, the situation. The more information that you provide for context, the more help the AI can give you. For example, a very generic prompt with very little context might say, list 5 ways to improve customer response time on our website. Whereas a more contextualized prompt may say, I'm a customer service manager for a mid-sized e-commerce company targeting young professionals. List 5 ways to improve customer response time on our website. I think you can see the difference. And now, the last of the 3 C's, conditions. Conditions are where you set the expectation for format, length, and style. Here, you tell your chat assistant how many words you want written, what the length is. You can say 150 characters. You can say 800 words. You can also tell your assistant what type of format you want the output to be in. Maybe it's a social media post. Maybe it's a press release or an inter-office memo or a report or a short story. Also, you can specify your style, whether it's friendly, professional, whether it's a reading level of a 5th grader. This is very key to molding and engineering your prompt results. Here are 2 examples. One is non-specific. Improve this draft for a customer service email, while the second is more specific. Using the following draft, rewrite the email in a more concise and professional tone, ensuring a clear commitment to responding to customer inquiries within 4 hours. To recap, let's take a look at this prompt, which is not so good. Can you help me write a better email about customer complaints? It falls short because it's very vague. What does better mean? What does shorter mean? It lacks context. There's no information about the company and what type of complaints it receives. And also, No real conditions, also very vague. No specified format, no length, no real desired style. And based on everything that we've just gone over in the last 5 minutes, I think you'll see that this is a much better engineered prompt. It has clarity. It says, I'm a customer service manager for a mid sized e commerce company specializing in eco friendly home goods. So we've got context. Many of our recent complaints revolve around shipping delays. More context. Now it's giving us the conditions. Draft a friendly yet professional email template I can use to address these complaints. Acknowledge customer frustration and offer 10% discount as a gesture of goodwill. Aim for a length of 100 to 150 words. This is a very well crafted prompt. Now, I am mindful that most people are not going to sit at their computer and type out such a well thought out prompt, but I'm going to show you how you can get to something like this within a few seconds. This is the first of the big three of the online AI chat style AIs. I'm just going to copy this. And you can see I've used my not so good prompt to start. And it simply says, can you help me write a better email about customer complaints? I'm choosing the more balanced, which is sort of middle of the road, not creative, not precise, more balanced. And let's see what we get. Wow. First, I just want to point out how fast it is, right? But second, I want to point out that it is giving me exactly what I asked for. I asked if it could help me write a customer service email, and it literally provided me with the instructions for how to write a better email about customer complaints. And it gave me an example of a customer email about customer complaints using an urgent flooring repair issue. So this isn't helping me unless I have to write an email about an urgent flooring repair issue, right? I wanted to start with a not so good prompt first so that I can show you how you can engineer that not so good prompt into a much better prompt. By looking at the output that you got, you can see what about it you don't need. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the AI no, so that it knows that what it sent me is not what I was really looking for. And then I'm realizing that I didn't tell it who I was and what my customers were complaining about and what I wanted in the email. So now I'm going to add clarity, context, and conditions. I'm just going to speed up my typing for you so that you don't watch my painfully slow typing. I am just going to point out to you, look how fast the AI is. That's faster than the speed that I sped up my typing. I just think this is so awesome. And now I have a much better result. This is still not 100% done for me. I don't feel like I would use this out of the box, but I, in just 2 minutes, got to 80% done with exactly what I needed to get done. So I think that you can see how this takes some of the mental load off of your day if you are juggling and wearing many hats. So that's Microsoft Copilot. Let's take a look at the same exact example using Google Gemini. Here is Google Gemini. Can you help me write a better email about customer complaints? Remember, that's our not so good prompt. So I'm just going to submit and see what Google can do. Again, it understands my question to be asking them, how do I do this thing? And my intent behind my very poor prompt was, I want you to write this email for me. So that is just such a great illustration of how clarity, context, and conditions really matter and are so important in driving the output, especially if you're looking for business and business impact. I'm just going to paste the exact same prompt from Copilot. So let's see how Google Gemini does. It's very similar to what the output that we got from Copilot. And last but not least, we have in my bag of tricks here, ChatGPT. So let's start with the first prompt and go into chat. And I'm going to paste my not so good prompt because remember, we're talking about prompt engineering. And what I'm showing you here is how the top three chat style AIs behave and in terms of prompt engineering for the best business output. So what's interesting is that ChatGPT is the only AI that understood that your prompt did not have the 3 C's. It doesn't have clarity, context, or conditions. So it's saying, of course I can help you, but it would be helpful for me to know the context. It would be helpful for me to know the specific complaints. So rather than just reading my query and assuming that I just wanted a general outline of how to write a better email, it understands that there is a different question that I'm asking and it needs more information to answer it. Kudos for you, chat, from their prompt. Now let's just go back to our prompt. And now I don't need to say no because it already knows I was not following the 3 C's. It already knows that I had no clarity, no context, and no conditions. So I'm just going to give it the rest of the details that I've given the other 2 chat style AIs. And I'm just always so amazed at how quickly these AIs just put together what you've asked for and provide you with a response. This is a very solid response, very similar to what we got from Microsoft Copilot, very similar to what we got from Google Gemini. I think the important thing now to consider as far as business impact is integration. How does it integrate with the productivity tools that you're using every day? And that, my friends, will be a topic for a completely different tutorial. Just to summarize, we went over clarity, which is being specific and avoiding ambiguity, making sure that you have clear punctuation, making sure that your sentences aren't too long or too complex. You saw how important context was in providing background and making sure that the output was relevant. As soon as we told our AI assistant that we were a customer service manager or that the customers were complaining about shipping, it made such a difference. And finally, condition. This is what I expected. I was expecting an email, but not just any kind of email format. It was a template format. I could have given it a lot more instructions, but for our purposes today, I just wanted to illustrate the 3 C's: clarity, context, conditions. Thank you for joining me today for Prompt Engineering 101, Mastering Chat AI for Business Impact. My name is Wenda O'Neill.